everybody to my second ever reading journal setup video. I'm definitely going to be linking last year's video for you down below so that you can check that one out because, let's be honest, that one was good. That was this reading journal. However, I had an issue with it. During the end of the year, I realized that in September I had struggles with space. I struggled severely with a space shortage and I absolutely hated it. I couldn't fathom putting more books into this journal because it was essentially full and I knew I wasn't going to be able to put all of them in. Granted, that probably happened because I already read 230 books this year and it's not even the end of the year, it's the beginning of December. So I swapped from a physical reading journal to a digital one on my iPad. And today I'm going to show you how you can set up your own reading journal on your iPad or anywhere else, okay? You don't need to have an iPad for this. You can just use the designs that I'm using on a physical book. They will work just as well, I promise you. But if you've ever thought about setting up a reading journal or any journal digitally on your iPad via Goodnotes, I'm gonna explain to you how we do this. We're gonna go step by step and we're gonna build up this reading journal. Now let's start with the cover. I am so proud. You don't even know how proud I am of this cover that I made, okay? It is, of course, the burn book from Mean Girls, right? That was not only the inspiration, that's what this is. It was super fun making all these little letters. You essentially just take a little square and then you put like a letter on top. You doodle all over the place. I made it kind of my own. I also left room for improvement, so if at any point in time I want to add more doodles, I can. It's kind of like a progress thing where I can always add more to it and it won't just be weird. Most of the creation progress for the pages happened in Procreate. So I just went ahead, I created a sheet for the covers, the front and the back cover. I used an A5 size paper, right? The screen was like A5. And for the spreads, because I knew I wanted to have like double spreads, I used A4 in a landscape. So that way I could have like two A5s next to each other. That's just what I did. And so I created this page that was so hard. If you look closely, you can see that if I open up to the pages, I actually have little pages back there, and that's just a lot of copy pasting, a lot of resizing, a lot of fiddling with it. I'm a creative person. I love doing stuff like this. This was so much fun for me to make. I had an absolute blast. I also had an absolute blast drawing all these little things, drawing the bookshelves, creating little Easter eggs, drawing little doodles, coloring things in, just making this my own. And the good thing about doing this digitally is that even if you mess up, you can correct it, you can straighten lines, you can edit some things, you can have so many different layers to your artwork that making it and then copying it later is so much easier than just doing it at home. Now, what I also have to say, I tried to catch most of this on camera for you, but there were a lot of sessions involved where I was just sitting on that chair back there and I was just doing my thing, and a lot of late night sessions as well. So I was just standing at my desk and I was trying to make this so that I could film it for you today. Well, that was last night. I have been in a frenzy of finishing this for the past few days because I've just been obsessed with it. Now that you have your presets on your Procreate, right? You have all the pages done, then you have them all in your Procreate kind of app. You just select all of them and then you export them. I personally like to export them as PNGs. That's what I always do. That's what I do with my thumbnails for everything. It's just my preferred way of doing things. If you prefer something else, that's fine. I'm not an expert on this, okay? I'm a biologist, not a graphic designer. You set them and you save them to your library. And that's where they are. They're just photos. And then when you go into the Goodnotes app, you can tap on the little wheel in the top right corner and then go to manage your templates. You can add a new template, call it whatever you want. I would say just call it reading journal. In my case, I called it burn book because that's what my reading journal is. And I think it's very fitting. So I just added that, and then you can add each and every one of the slides individually. Now, one little tip for you to make it easier is think of your order that you want to put them in beforehand. And also, remember the sizing. Each and every one of the landscape ones I imported as an A4, but the preset is A6 in the Goodreads. So just be aware of that and make do. So then when you open your notebook, it will show up with one page, okay? If you've done that all, you select the first page. In my case, I selected the index first, and then you add all the other pages to your notebook. You go in and you add each and every single page that you want in there. You can add the first few if you want to. You can add all of them all the way through December. Honestly, the sky's your limit with this one. You have all the creative liberty that you want. Let's start with the index. For the index, what I did is I grabbed individual text fields and I made them hyperlinks so that if I tap on the link, so if, for example, if I tap on bookshelf or my ratings or January, it will immediately send me to that page. That way I can easily navigate my reading journal from my index. Now, the next page is by bookshelf. The bookshelf is one of my favorite pages. I'm super proud of this. I just drew a bookshelf and a bunch of books, and as always, you just write the name of the book that you read in there. You can color it in with a highlighter, you can color it in however you want. You can also just like put the actual spine of the book in there if you take a picture of it. Whatever your heart desires, you can do it. You have all the creative liberty. Again, it's so much fun. This is kind of a self-explanatory page, and I love it. The next page is my ratings. So this is a page that I had in my old reading journal as well. I just basically did the same thing again, where I have all my star ratings and then what they mean. So for example, I have 5 stars, which is essentially, wow, this is the best book I've ever read. Then you have, wow, 4 stars, that's a great book, I loved it, that's just a good one, but something was missing. Then you have 3 stars, which is overall a solid book. It's not bad, it's not good, it's solid. You have 2 stars, which was not my kind of book, and I barely tolerated it. And then you have 1 stars, which I absolutely hated, and I probably DNF'd that book. So that's kind of where we're at. Same with the chili peppers. We have boiling hot and kinky, 4+ spicy scenes and very dark, 2+ scenes and very descriptive, 1 to 2 scenes, but it's very mild and not descriptive. And then you have closed door, which is my 1 chili pepper. So my 1 chili pepper is mentions of spice, but it's closed door. And then no mentions at all is 0 spice, so just 0 chili peppers. On the right, I saw somebody doing this. I'm gonna link some of the videos if I can find them below. I saw somebody putting review questions, so these are just some questions that I ask myself, and I will just add more if I need them, okay? This is just me starting out with the journal, so if I need more questions, I will need more. Some of these are questions that maybe I will talk about in my book club about the books. Some of these are the ones that I use for my reviews on Instagram or on YouTube. Wherever I make reviews, I go through these questions probably and help me if I'm stuck writing a review and I don't know what to do. These are like some questions that you can like look at if you're struggling. So I kind of like that idea, and I will see if I use it. If I don't, I'm not going to include it in the next one. That's just how it goes. The next page, again, kind of self-explanatory. This is a I read today and I bought books today spread. I made this huge table and just pasted it in, and I created a spot for every single day of the year. It's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory again. And every single day that you read, you can color in with a different color. So you can maybe do green for the days you read and red for the days that you didn't read. And then if you want to and you finish a book, you can make a little cross or a little dot or something so that you know you finished a book that day. I think that's very helpful. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna try. And this was one of my favorite things to do in my old reading journal, so I absolutely love that. Same with the books I bought today. I'm gonna write in the number of books I bought, and then I'm gonna highlight it again. And then at the bottom of each of the rows, I'm gonna write how many books I bought each month, because let's be honest, I need a little control in my life. Next up is the series tracker. This is again kind of self-explanatory, so it's a very plain page if you start out, but I will put all of the series that I've started in there. So for example, I put The Atlas, The Lunar Chronicles, Play the Prisoner. These are 3 series that I've started reading, but I haven't finished them. So I will put the dots in, and each dot is for one specific book in that series, and I will cross out the ones that I've already read. Now you could also just like erase a dot if you wanted to. If you do the crossing out method, I would suggest you start at the middle of the page and then work your way towards the titles titles of the series. That way, if another book is added to the series and you don't have space for it at the right, you're not messing up your entire system and it's completely garbage. So that's how I do it and I like it, and I did this in the old one and it worked for me. I also hope that this page motivates me to finally finish all these series that I've started, because let's just say that there is a lot. This double page is probably gonna be full. So just letting you all know that. Then the next page is my monthly favorites. I think this is also pretty self-explanatory. I think all of these are. They're nothing really new, nothing really inventive by me. So I have each month as like a little pink box, and each month I will put my favorite book, the cover of my favorite book, in the box. There is a doodle in each box because I thought they looked pretty empty and I wanted to doodle things. So I kind of doodled stuff that made sense for the month. Of course, I picked a birthday cake for November because it's my birth month, so why wouldn't I do that? It just seems logical at this point. But anyway, that's kind of what I did, and I had a great time with that, okay? So that's like the monthly favorite page. Then we have the DNF trash can. Again, it's a DNF trash can. The books you DNF'd, just put the cover of the books on that page, and then you're just happy. Okay, that's all I can tell you. Same with the reading playlists. You just go into your Spotify and you can like download the playlist link, and then you can crop it to the point where you can find your playlists. Now, this is a bad example because these are both my reading playlists and I like to listen to those. But if you find a specific playlist for like a specific book and you love that, you can put it in there. You can find a place for it. You can write little things about it, like write the vibes next to it, whatever you want. Make it your own. Next is my TBR. I'm gonna list every single book in my TBR on there, and I have more pages for that because I know myself, I have a lot of books on my TBR. It's gonna grow. My TBR is constantly growing, and then you can cross out the books if you've read them, okay? You can just do that if you want to. Or you can highlight them, you can do a little cross, a little tick, whatever you want, just make it your own. The next one is pick your next read, okay? This is when you don't know what you want to read, you can go and follow the arrows. So if, for example, if I say, okay, I want to read today. Do I want a romance? Yes, maybe I want a romance. Do I want magic? No. Okay, then read a romance book, right? It's just making the thought process easier for me because sometimes it's not that easy. The right, same thing. These are book club picks for me. We have a book club with my friend, like my actual real life friends, and we pick about a book every 2 months and then we talk about it. So I will just put the cover here as well just to like visualize that for me and myself. The next one is a page that is very specifically targeted to me and myself as a content creator, because this is kind of the social media page. On the right-hand side, I will put video ideas if I need a place to write them all down. This could be it. Not sure if I will do this because I technically have like other documents where I do that. And then on the left, I will just track the growth of all my social media channels, essentially. It's just that simple. I had it in my monthly stats before, but this year I want to put it in a dedicated space. And then we're already at the monthly spreads. Now, I do want to say that I will probably be adding like monthly headers and like title pages for those. I just didn't want to do them already, so I just didn't. But these are like essentially the monthly spreads. They're pretty similar to the ones I did before, right? There's nothing new about them. It's just adding the books to your TBR, and then if you finish them, that's what I like to do. You just color in the heart in like black, and that way you just have the book as read. You could also cross it out, whatever you want. This is just how I do it. Then you have statistics at the bottom. I like this, and then for the stars, I just copy them in. I still need to do the stamps. That way I can easily put these in as like a stamp, and then it's just cool for me. I like the idea of that. Same with the books I've read, also self-explanatory, the ratings on the right, with the stars and the sprites rating, because I just need that. So for this next page, this is technically just going further. Depending on how many books you read each month, each of these books read page things has 9 books that you can put in. Now, as somebody who reads about 20 books each month, that's very unfortunate. So I have this double page that I can put all the books in. Now, if you, for some reason, don't read 20 books, but only like 15, you can change the template, and I'm just gonna show you how you do it. So you just tap on changing it, and then you select the double one, and all the stuff that you already rated will stay in there. right? And if you now have the single page, on the right hand side of the single page, I put my rating presets. So you can rate however you want, okay? But it's just how I do it. I like to put the picture of the book, and then I will put the title of the book at the top. I'll just write it out and write some notes on it, write some keywords, write a little review of the book down there, and then I'll add my rating, same with the stars and the spice. If I don't like it in the future, maybe I'll change it, maybe I won't, who knows. But this is just what I'm doing. And then it just goes on, okay? I have the February page here. Don't look at the bottom, I forgot to add the stars. I know I did, but essentially that's just that. And the best thing about adding the pages like in between is that the links you created before, they're staying. So if I go to the March link, it will still send me to March and not to the February preset that I made, right? So that's really, really cool. And then the last page you want to add into your reading journal is, of course, the back cover. You're probably not going to see this, but you can also use it as like a doodle page again. Add more stickers if you find something that's funny, just add it. It doesn't really matter. Just, again, make it your own. Anyway, that's my reading journal, and I am so proud of it. Please let me know about things that you put in your reading journal, and also let me know if you maybe would be interested in having this reading journal. I would have to make some changes and make some things more myself, because again, if you've seen my creative process, sometimes I just take pictures of things. For example, if I want to draw a duck, I take a picture of a duck and I just trace it, because let's be honest, who has the time and the motivation to draw everything yourself? Nobody. And it's your own, so you can just do that. Like, I'm not claiming to be a perfect artist. And just because some of the things in the book are like other people's work and not my own, I would have to change some things if I were to put it up. But before I do that, I would like to know if you would actually be interested in having the book and what pages you would want to see. If you want me to add any pages for that, I could also do that. So just, if you're interested, let me know and we'll figure something out. Especially like the stickers on the back of the book, those aren't my own, okay? I just got some random stickers off of Pinterest. Pinterest is like the place to be for everything. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know that I certainly did, and I will see you soon for the next video that I make. Until then, make your reading journals, and I will see you soon. Bye! I hope I said everything. But looking at this, I feel very proud. I feel like I did a good job on these. I'm not sure if I'm gonna add some more pages later on, but so far I like these. But the good thing about having a digital planner is that you can always add new pages. And if you don't use some, just delete them. Nobody will ever know. Except for you, because you've now seen the setup, right? It's a secret. Bye!